Well, guys, everybody know that springtime is a great time to sell plants. In fact, it couldn't be a lot easier to sell plants. It's just a matter of how many and how long are you going to do it. Well, now fall is on us, and it's our first year full-time in the nursery business, and we've never tried to sell plants in the fall. So we're getting ready to take another plunge here and take another leap of faith and see how this is going to work out as we're gearing up this week for our first big fall plant sale. And one of the things that we've been really surprised about, very pleasantly surprised about, I'll say in the last 2 weeks to month, something like that, is if you guys remember about 2 months ago, I bought in some plugs and was potting those up, and I did it as an experiment to see if we could overwinter these things and kind of get a head start on next spring's plant sale. But what has happened is that some of these plugs have gotten a lot bigger than I thought they would, faster than I thought they would. I just didn't know. And this is a lavender plant here called Big Time Blue, but I mean, that is gorgeous. And we're going to stick some of these out in our fall plant sale. So our Monardas that we bought, which is a bee balm. Let's see, we had Gara, we had a tick seed or a Coreopsis. They have different names, but anyway, you have several different perennials that we just bought in, like I said, just weeks ago, that have already reached this size. I couldn't be more pleased about it, so we're looking forward to offering these in our fall sale. Now this is our plant it's an Arborvitae called Highlights, and you can see it's kind of a golden yellow color, and these things are beautiful. I mean, I'm falling in love with these things quickly. It's patented, so I can't propagate them, but we bought these as liners and have grown them out. But these are in 2-gallon pots, and we're going to be offering these for sale for about $15 in our sale. So we're looking forward to seeing what kind of interest there is, at least from buyers at that price point. These things overwinter great. I don't care if anybody buys them or not, but we're going to give them a try. And this will be the first time that we've offered these for sale in this size pots at this size. So a little bigger plant, a little higher price point than we're used to. Now these are gardenias here right in front of me. Again, another plant that we've never grown, that we've never offered in our sales, but man, they sure are beautiful. And this is another plant that we just potted as from plugs about 8 to 10 weeks ago, something like that. And we took cuttings from all of them. We've been propagating them, and they've grown to this size. I mean, they are gorgeous. This is a warm climate plant. If you have these in a cold climate, you need to bring them indoors, but they're hardy to like zone 7 and up. But anyway, that's us. So we're looking forward to seeing how these sell. We made a separate Facebook post for them just to kind of promote them, let people know that we have them in small pots for a great price. So we'll see how it goes. And now I'm sitting just in the middle of hundreds of emerald green arborvitaes, green giants behind me, but these are growing out for next year. But we have tons of emerald greens that are ready to sell now. I have separate posts on Facebook Marketplace running for these, but these are up to about 20 to 24 inches tall, and we should be selling quite a few of these now. But we'll be putting these out in our sale and really trying to hit these hard, and maybe do a separate little video on them in a week or two. But I can't see how this won't be a good item to try to sell this fall as well. Now I wanted to show y'all just a few things that we had for our sale, but a lot of our plants that are for sale are kind of behind the camera out here in irrigation area 1, if you want to call it that. But we actually sell our plants down here behind me. So we have a lot of plants to move today in order to get things in place, to get ready to go for this weekend. And doing this, we get our whole family involved. It makes the work a lot faster. It makes it a lot more fun. So we're going to spend some time this afternoon just moving plants around, and I'm going to talk a little bit with you about that as we go, so you see what we're doing and you see what we have and see what some of our thinking is. So it's time for us to get busy moving plants, so I'm gonna go get the troops. The first thing we wanted to do was get all of these trees unloaded from the trailer, and we enlisted Carly for her help. And now she's not any bigger than a minute, so these trees were a pretty good load for her, but she hung in there and she got all of them out of the trailer, passed them off to us, and we sure appreciated her help in doing it, because that was a lot of trees to move. And then it's out to the irrigation area, and we start just moving crepe myrtles, butterfly bushes, all these plants. We don't move all of them at one time. We just make sure that we have some of each down in our sales area, and we reload throughout the day. We run out of this, we run out and get more. Run out of that, we run out and get more. But everybody pitching in and helping makes this kind of tedious work. It's fun, and we just get done with it, so it's good. And we've got a couple of these little green wagons that are awesome for helping transport plants, transport whatever we have in the nursery. And of course, Penny's always around to help, and she helps make things fun. But I sure do appreciate these kids and their hard work. They are so much help. And here's Chloe holding a couple of loropetalums, and that's a new plant to us. It's just kind of a purple shrub with a pink bloom on it, and anything you can do to add a splash of color to your nursery where there's lots of green is always a welcome addition. And here's John sticking those same loropetalums in a pile and getting them ready to go. Chloe pulling the wagon, me pulling the wagon. And now once we got all the plants in, at least most of them, here's what we had when it was time to start the sale. There's some Monarda, Gara, that's lavender and hostas, and there's the loropetalums, viburnums. There's some butterfly bushes, which are a great seller. Can't recommend butterfly bushes, any color. People love them. Sweet bay magnolias on the right there. Oak leaf hydrangeas coming up there on the left. And of course, Carly and John have to take their run through the sprinkler. That looks like fun. Got to keep everything watered. And then we put our cover up on the quick tent. Always have that shade out for sales day. It's still pretty warm here, mid-80s during the day, and having that shade's invaluable. And here's these mums for the first time for us, and we're glad to have these. And I want to just show you how pretty they are. And these display really well, and you know, people walk up and see them, and everybody who walks up comments on them, whether they're going to buy any mums or not. But it's just really hard to have a fall plant sale without at least a few mums. So I was fortunate to be able to find some, and thankful to do so. Also wanted to take a moment here and show you these little signs that we make for our plants. It's just an information card with a picture. Just grab a picture off the internet and print it out. Put some information on it. We make these in Canva. You can make them on Microsoft Word or Apple Pages or whatever word processing you have. And we send them down to our local print shop, and they print them for us. And we've got large Arborvitaes and small Arborvitaes here at 2 different price points. And all that information can be found right there on that card. So that card's really helpful. Here's a viburnum. You know, people don't know what plants are when they walk up and look. They don't know what they're looking at. And having a picture of your plants when they look their best, it really goes a long way to helping sell them and to help people see what they can expect when they buy them. So we figure it's the least we can do. It's good for us, and it's good for our customers as well. And here was the finished product with the trees once we got them all in. These are blood-good Japanese maples here. Those are about 6 or 8 feet tall, and the green ones there are October Glory maple trees. A spectacular maple in the fall. Really good seller, really beautiful quality tree. Eastern redbuds, really common, brilliantly colored bloomer in the spring, early spring. Great shade tree. This is a heritage birch tree here, and beautiful foliage on these, and as these mature, the bark on them becomes really pretty too, and very visible bark during the winter. It's just really appealing. Carolina silver bells there, really pretty shade tree. You move on down a little further, and there's your Kusa dogwoods, Chinese dogwoods, sometimes called. And there are those real tall whips in the back. Those are ivory silk lilac. And then here's all the product finished once we got everything in. Really nice. All right, it is after the sale. It is a couple of days later, and so, I mean, all in all, I would say that things have gone well. It's Chloe helped out a lot, Casey helped out a lot, Carly helped out some, and John made an appearance or two. So all of us have some idea of how things went. So Chloe, what was our best-selling item this sale?
I think our best-selling item was either limelight hydrangeas or mums.
Okay.
That's what I would say. And
all
if
right.
we had more limelight hydrangeas, we would have sold more.
And we sold like
80.
And we sold them for $10 each. Mm-hmm. Most of them were in 1-gallon pots. Maybe a few of them were like trade twos or something. But we're talking about plants that are, you know, about this big. And none of them were blooming. I mean,
right.
You know, they were not.
They just looked like green bushes.
They were not overly pretty. I mean, they'll be gorgeous in people's yards next year. But guys, sometimes I feel like y'all think, why do you grow so many of one plant? Well, grow you some limelight hydrangeas, put them up for sale, and you'll see. I mean,
My
it's
goodness.
crazy. That's just such a popular plant right now. So limelights and mums. Now, mums, let's talk about that for a second, because we've never, ever, one time had mums before at any sale we've ever had.
Nope.
So I found a wholesaler for mums. They're not nearby. I had to drive 2 hours one way to get them. So that's not a great thing. So, you know, it takes 5 hours for me to go pick up 50 mums.
Yeah.
So,
which we just got 50 because we'd never done it before, so we wanted to make sure we're not left with a ton of mums.
yeah, but 50 is all I could get in my trailer, too.
That's true.
So, I mean, I could go multiple days and all of that, but the point is that we have sold mums, and we made about $6 each profit on each mum that we sold. So we sold all 50 of our mums and sold them pretty quickly, sold them pretty easily. So that was cool. So that's one of those things where just going forward, you know, we're going to always want to have more of those. Another thing that we were wanting to emphasize in our fall sales is these trees. Man, I went and bought 110 big trees, and I mean, some of these are 10 feet tall. They're big trees, and so we really want to get these things sold, and we sold quite a few of them. Really not as many as I had hoped to sell, but we sold quite a few. We had 10 varieties, and Chloe, do you know, I mean, did you see more of one or two or something selling than others?
I saw the Shoals Creek tree sold a lot. There's only 3 of those left.
Okay.
I know that
That's
we
good.
sold quite a few Japanese maples, and I think that's probably just because everybody knows what those are.
Yes.
I would think.
Like, name recognition is huge.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we also sold quite a few weeping willows, which I
Okay.
love weeping willows. So
Yeah.
I was kind of paying attention to them too, just because they catch my eye, and
Yeah.
I'm sure they catch other people's eyes. So those were some of the ones
The weeping
I
willow
noticed.
trees are literally right at 10 feet tall that we have, and it was funny watching people leave with them, because this one car
People
left
keep
with,
picking them up and like hitting them on the top of the shade house.
they hit the
It
top
was
in here,
hilarious.
they're trying to put them in the back of some kind of hatchback vehicle, and they're hanging 3 or 4 feet out the back window anyway. So we have October glory maples, we have Chinese dogwoods, we have birch trees, and we have some lilac trees, and I guess red buds and sweet bay magnolias. We have a variety of a pretty good variety of shade and ornamental trees. And you're saying the Japanese maples, which we have an upright tall variety called bloodgood. It's real common.
Yeah.
Okay, so those have done well. So far so good on the trees, though. We would definitely like to be able to sell a greater number of what we have left at this point. So one of the things that we have decided, and you know, this is good or bad depending on how you want to look at it, but we're going to have another sale next week. So we've got enough trees left, we got enough perennials left, we've got enough small shrubs left that we can do this again next week, which means I'm going to go get another load of mums this week. So we'll get another 50 mums in this week. Our perennials that are ready, we'll get those back out. We'll make sure that our oak leaf hydrangeas are in as good a shape as they can be. Unfortunately, there won't be any what?
Limelights.
There won't be any limelights.
Because we have 0.
We
Not
sold.
even one. People even bought the rough-looking ones.
And we told them, hey,
like
these
the
are
small
not.
ones, the ones with like one stem. People bought them all.
And people would just insist that they take them. So
people are like, they'll come out next year. It'll be fine. Even though
So,
we're like trying to convince them not to buy them.
all of that to say that we're going to do it again. So we're going to have 2 weekends of fall sales at least. So I'm really excited about that. So what we really want to do is we want to sell more of these trees. These are Carolina silver bells.
We don't want to end up with these over winter because we're not real sure how to overwinter trees
so
like this. We don't deal with them very much.
if we could get down to like 30 or 40 trees to have to overwinter, that would be really, really good. So we really need to sell them. So anyway, we're planning on trying this another week. So looking forward to doing that, and we'll let you guys know how it goes.
One big surprise that we had, at least I was surprised about it, is how many people came to this sale. Because we've never tried to sell plants in the fall. Not really, like besides just maybe screening trees or something like that. We've never really tried to sell plants in the fall. And I didn't even really know if people bought like perennial, just our normal stuff, plants in the fall. I know people buy things like mums. I've heard people buy like shrubs, things like that. But I didn't really know what people bought in the fall. And I was just surprised because there were so many people that came. It kind of reminded me of a spring sale.
Yeah, I mean,
it was in the fall.
At times we were actually crowded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
so,
8 cars at a time.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy.
Yep. So our first fall plant sale is in the books, and we wanted to share it with you guys. So I'm encouraged by it, and it encourages me just for this year, but also in the years ahead about how we might do it better or how we might have more of this or more of that. But anyway,
More limelights.
More limelight hydrangeas, which we're working on.
Yeah.
So guys, thank y'all for being here with us today and hearing our update. I hope it was encouraging to you as it has been to us. So we love y'all. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one.